I've since remarried to a better man and have a much better life. Beyonce was right. They're 100% replaceable. What was the last thing that happened in your relationship that made you decide to end it? When a friend sent me a link to an ad my then boyfriend had put on the internet, advertising us as a couple looking for another couple or man to join us. I did not have any prior knowledge of this ad, nor did he have permission to include a photo of me in it. He had been trying to convince me to invite another person or couple swap, but I wasn't ready for that yet. After we broke up because of this incident, I had to see him again to get my things from his place, including heavy uni books, so mail wasn't really an option. When we met at a restaurant, there was a couple seated at the same table as us. They came on to me until it was made obvious what they wanted. Needless to say, I did not get back together with dude. The last straw should have been months ago when he wanted to stop telling me he loved me. Or when he quit all contact with me for 3 days without telling me. We did long distance, which wasn't even that far. He was like 20 minutes away from me, so calling for a few minutes before bed was important for me. Or when he would make me so anxious I had to throw up almost constantly. Also when he admitted that I was most likely not the person he's going to end up with for the rest of his life. The last straw was when he wore a ring I never saw. I never found out where it came from. But I knew it was over. He broke up with me the following week. It should have been me. I put up with 8 months of absolute BS from this dude. It still hurts after 3 years. Somebody replied, I had something similar happen to me. I had so many reasons to leave him, and he left me in the end. He would ignore me for hours to play video games. I have nothing against video games, but he was so addicted that he would sit in college classes playing and then started failing classes. I helped him study as much as possible. The night before one of the toughest exams, I went to help him study at 2 a.m. instead of finishing what I still had left to study. Our first anniversary, he messaged. We were both in different towns that night, saying happy anniversary. I'm going to play now. Bye. Good night. I had been waiting the whole day for him to talk when he was busy playing. Even when I was really upset and trying to vent to him, he would reply every 20 minutes, between games. He even made comments about my body, said that my breasts were small or my toes were ugly, and played off as him just being honest. My self-confidence was so low at that point because I cared about his opinion a lot. He would put only minimal effort when I would spend months planning surprises for him. My friends weren't fond of him. That should have been a sign. I didn't like the person I was when I was with him. I was miserable and insecure. I can't say that he was the one entirely responsible for that, but a lot of it was a reaction to his behavior. After we moved away and had to do long distance for a while, he stopped talking to me and was being very distant. And then he just ended it, and he said it feels like I'm finally free. It hurt so much to hear that after 4.5 years of being together, after putting so much effort and time into the relationship. I'm glad that it ended. I'm so much happier now, but I should have left him ages ago. He gave me the silent treatment for 2 months straight. He didn't break up with me, he just stopped answering my texts after I did something minuscule he didn't like. It was during lockdown. I should have left him years before, but that finally gave me the strength to leave him. I realized I could live without him, even though that was a miserable lesson. When he threatened to throw our 3-month-old twins into the wall because he didn't sign up for this. I accepted all the yelling and getting angry for no reason at all. Always made sure he is feeling okay afterwards, and what I can do to make him feel loved. Every time I tried to share how I feel while talking about a problem, he made it all about himself. Told me that he wasn't good enough for me and can't do anything right. But the last straw for me was some stupid fight via messages a week ago. Basically just a simple misunderstanding. I said sorry for something I shouldn't even be sorry for in the first place, and he just ignored me. Ignored my messages trying to find out if he is okay and if we are okay. Just responded with I'm going to sleep, you're just looking for a fight. He never showed up for me in the entire relationship, it was always about him. It hurts like hell, but I guess I'm better off without him. After complaining about the same thing he kept doing, even though he said he understood how I felt and that he would do better and literally never did. I ended up telling him it would be best that we break up. I offered friendship because we were friends before we started dating, and he kept pressing for another way for us to fix the relationship. I explained that I had already cried about the problems and they never got fixed. He switched up on me when he realized that I had already made up my mind and turned the whole relationship downfall on my illness. I was really sick at the time, which basically made me very aware of how this dude doesn't actually care about me and my well-being. I stood up and left mid-conversation, and never spoke to him again. Somebody replied, "Good for you, girl. I had the same thing happen to me twice." I even had one of the boys blame me for getting sick and that I should be apologizing to them by making them anxious because I was sick and that's the reason why they messed up. I sent him a long message listing my demands for our relationship to continue, such as feeling respected and like he even cared. His response? "I got it, I'll read it later and get back to you." Spoiler, he never did. For 5 years, every day, he would put dishes on top of the dishwasher instead of in it. Also, the constant yelling, swearing, and eventually strangling me didn't help. I had to drive him to work. I went to the wrong side of the parking lot driveway to go around a pothole while there was a car coming at me, at a very safe distance away. He lost it, berated me, and called me the stupidest driver he'd ever seen. I saw my mom 3 days later and broke down and asked for help to get out. In my last relationship before my current one, I guess the lack of consistency or feeling like I wasn't worth committing to, was an issue. What started out as a beautiful relationship turned into a constant on and off again status, with poor communication, and tons of, "What did I do to deserve this" vibes. So the last time he disappeared, I just let him go. Unfortunately, you can't make someone fix something just because you want them to. When he touched me I cringed in disgust, as if I were crawling in my own skin. We broke up a week before our best friend died in a car accident. We were already on bad terms because he cheated soon after our 2-year anniversary. His best friend ratted him out for it and he openly admitted it, then tried to lie about it after. We stayed semi-friends, because we were working on college coursework together before finals. But then, because he was a toxic butt, he tried to use our best friend's death as an excuse for us to get back together. Saying she wouldn't have wanted us to do this, fully knowing she hated anyone who cheated in relationships. I knew she would have chewed him out had she known what he did. I saved all the screenshots of that conversation and our breakup, and promptly blocked him the night of our friend's funeral. He didn't even go, and blamed me saying I didn't want him there. Not true. We had a shared friend group that was asking me what happened, so I didn't say anything and just sent the screenshots to those who asked. Not a single person in that friend group was on his side after that. I watched the mutual friend list on Facebook between us go from around 50 plus to 5 within a week. This was a year ago and I'm in a much healthier relationship now, thankfully. The last straw was when he threw a water bottle at me out of anger and screamed at our kid to shut up. Then he started yelling at me. It was unprovoked. We weren't arguing. Our kid just started fussing because she was hungry, 5 months old, and it made him angry. He didn't help much with her, so I don't know how his patience was so little. I stood there quietly, just kind of shocked because I had seen my bio dad do the same sort of thing and he's gone to jail for worse cases of domestic violence, and after my ex had justified it several hours and got me to apologize to him for his freak out, I knew it was done. It got a lot worse that night when he was eyeing his gun and telling me I couldn't leave and whatnot, but it sealed the deal for my friends and family when I came back home. I ate a cookie. He is vegan, I'm not. He said he didn't care what other people chose to do, but for him it was important. I respected that. I tried some vegan food. I didn't hate it, in fact I liked most of it. Whenever we went out it was a vegan-friendly place. Fast forward 6 weeks into us dating. He comes over, my sister is making cookies, using Nestle pre-made cookie dough, the kind you just put in the oven. He comes in, the three of us are talking and I take a cookie off the baking sheet and eat it. He explodes talking about how dare I eat that in front of him and animal cruelty, etc. I was shook, my sister was shook, and I just kept eating the cookie. Apparently this was the last straw for him because he broke things off right there. He left and my sister and I just kept eating the cookies. He broke up with me because my family was too much, 2 months after my mom's stage 4 cancer diagnosis. He provided me no comfort during this time. 2 days later he begged me to get back together and to move back in. Fuck him. I never needed him in the first place. I was speechless when he said that. I think the relationship was doomed to fail regardless of my mom's diagnosis, but the fact that he felt the need to tell me my family was too much and what that implied is upsetting even a year later. People can be so rude. I felt like the mother, not the girlfriend. I went on my first solo trip, me and our 5-year-old daughter, to see my family and my best friend who moved away. Me and my husband were together for 14 years at this point. He knew about this trip and wasn't going to be able to come with me because of work obligations, but last second his work obligation was cancelled, so he was left at home off work the week I was gone, and he guilt-tripped me the entire week. Made me feel awful for being there without him, how miserable he was being at home without me, made my entire trip about him and how sad he was. Wasn't happy for me whatsoever for being able to spend time with my family. He sent me a photo of himself crying when I was at my best friend's house. Cues I didn't respond for like half an hour. We were hiking through waterfalls, it was gorgeous, so I was in and out of cell service and told him I'd be, and every time I came back into service I would have 5 to 10 texts about how sad he was that he couldn't get in contact with me. I couldn't even tell him how wonderful it was to be in the waterfalls because all he did was turn it into how miserable he was in comparison. How he couldn't even sleep in the bed because I'm not there, so he's sleeping on the couch, which is hurting his back, and here's photo proof of him sleeping on the couch. Good grief. It was a year later that I asked for a divorce, but that trip was the moment I realized I was absolutely done. The kicker is he traveled for work frequently. Often traveled to where his own friends and family were, went to unique destinations, etc., without me, and I always supported it and encouraged it and was happy for him to experience this. My one trip without him, and he couldn't last 10 minutes without making me feel like I cut his heart out. He had been abusive to me for over a year, during which I was pregnant with our 3rd baby. He had never done it in front of the kids, but it was getting worse. One Sunday morning he demanded the keys to my car and I refused because he had lost his license and had been drinking. He told my oldest, 3 at the time, that he would take her for ice cream. I again refused to give him my keys and was aware he was using my daughter against me. He turned to her and said, "Well, looks like we can't get ice cream after all because your mother is filthy meddler." After all the abuse he had directed at me, it paled in comparison to him speaking to my baby girl that way and using her against me. I told her that Daddy was in timeout for being very rude and I would take her and her sisters for ice cream instead. While my toddlers sat in the sun eating ice cream, I sat on the grass, breastfed my newborn and texted him to pack his stuff and get out of my house. I will never forget that day. My ex wouldn't cook, and if I didn't cook, he wouldn't eat. He would just starve like some helpless baby bird waiting for its mother to feed it. I went weeks without cooking to press him to finally feed himself. When we finally ran out of snacks to graze, because, shocker, I also bought all the groceries, he finally got around to cooking. He made soup and a panini, and only made it for himself. It didn't even occur to him to cook for both of us as I had done for 7 years. Just a clueless, helpless person who couldn't see past his own wants and needs. My ex was kind of like that, except he hated veggies and onions, so if I didn't make him food the way he liked, he didn't eat. But when he did break down, it was usually just a trip to get fast food. At first I accommodated his picky eating, but I felt less healthy, so I finally just said, "Hey, if I'm doing the work of cooking, I'm making what I want and need to eat. Take it or leave it." Seeing me happily eating good food is what led him to getting his fast food. I noticed the pattern later. When he was single, he lost a ton of weight, and in a relationship he gained a ton of weight. I was pretty miserable with him, but what ultimately broke it up was me finding his Grindr app by accident. I was strangely happy about this. I desperately wanted to break up with him. Now he dates mostly men. When he became suspicious that I might be trying to leave him, I was making nice until I sorted things out, so he wouldn't be suspicious. I think he may have found an apartment guide in my work bag. So one night, he took a condom off during intimacy, or faked putting it on in the first place, I'm not sure. We were using condoms because I was switching birth control and there was a gap. When it became obvious immediately post-intimacy what he'd done, he stood at the end of the bed and laughed, "Now you can't leave, stupid B." I had an abortion. We got a divorce. I never spoke to him again. That was in 1994. I had a chapter for a book due to an editor. I was 1 month postpartum and was supposed to have Sunday to write it. My husband had worked Monday through Saturday and was supposed to be off Sunday to take the baby. He would be working again Monday, and I was leaving town for a wedding on Thursday, so it was my last chance to get the chapter done for weeks. Sunday after church he starts getting ready to leave. I ask what he's doing and remind him I need to finish my chapter. He says he has to go into work for an hour, and he'll be right back. He was gone the rest of the day. The baby was awake and fussing the entire time. I got nothing done. When he got home, his lame excuse. I started making calls at the office and lost track of time. He later admitted he did not lose track of time, he just didn't think me having time to myself was that important. I believe he was with another woman. When I left for the wedding on Thursday, I left behind a letter asking for a divorce. He had claimed that he had given me time for my writing projects before, but I had relaxed and taken me time instead of writing. Like that was a problem. He was working this lame job, it was more of a hobby, that didn't pay from 9 AM to near midnight Monday through Saturday and occasionally going in on Sundays, and I was being patient and supportive of him wanting this to be a career, but me needing 1 day a week off from the new baby for me time and my projects was unacceptable to him. Plus, I was fairly certain he was cheating on me. I'd put up with his bull before, but now he was interfering with my career and making me look bad to the editor and publisher, so I decided this was the scrub train's last stop. I've since remarried to a better man and have a much better life. Beyonce was right. They're 100% replaceable. I hope you enjoyed this video, it means a lot that have enjoyed watching my channel. Do you have a story about your last relationship? Have any thoughts on today's stories? Let us know below. I read every comment.